All right, let's get to the fun stuff. Let's generate our project here. As I said, we're going to be using Elixir. Elixir, like many modern languages, has a web application framework. In this case, it's going to be Phoenix. Phoenix is just a fantastic framework. Is widely supported. The main backer is Fly.io, which is just a fantastic AWS alternative. Yeah, Chris McCord is also employed at Fly.io. So, Chris McCord is the maintainer, the creator of Phoenix. So they have tons of information here on how to do stuff in Phoenix, probably directly from the horse's mouth. So it's, it's really well documented. We're going to go one level higher, and we're going to use the Ash framework, which is a framework that generates, a bunch of code for you automatically. So it makes a bunch of stuff easier. It uses Elixir and Phoenix under the hood. I mean, we're going to be interacting with all those different parts. It just makes kind of some of the key, let's say, repetitive stuff easier on this. And besides, they have a fantastic, kind of get started thing here. So like, you can just come in here, get your, select what you want, copy this, paste it into your terminal, and get started, right? So let's just tweak a couple of things. So we're not going to install Elixir because, we have done that with ASDF. And we're just going to take here the basic, kind of the package that I have here for Elixir, for Phoenix, right? And if you want to see what are the options in there, you have Phoenix, you have Postgres as database, we're going to use that. You just have one type of authentication. We can extend and add others later on. Then you have here some of the AI stuff. We're going to get to that in a minute. Tidewave, fantastic. And then, these two things here to kind of let us see what, kind of let us inspect the application, right? So let's just start small. We'll start with this. I already have all of these things installed, so I'm not going to need that. I'm just going to change the name of this, rico-wtf. So let's change the name here. And then I'll run this command. So we're there in the directory. Voilà. So it's creating a bunch of stuff. Is getting the dependencies here, is setting up the assets, so the JavaScript assets, is compiling the dependencies. Voila, and then it gives you a bunch of instructions here on what to do next. This is actually coming from the Phoenix installer because Ash is using the Phoenix installer underneath. And now, Ash itself is, adding a bunch of stuff, right? It's installing this igniter, which is kind of an installer for a bunch of stuff, a very smart installer. All right, so it's finished installing, is telling it to do a bunch of stuff here. Okay, so we got everything there. So now if you go into de facto EX, and we have everything here, and we can see that it's a Git repository. It's got Git ignore. It got some of the agents file set up. So this is a thing that is now included in Phoenix. It tells AI agents how to work with Phoenix so that it doesn't waste his time and so on. So all of that is built in. So we could get it started. The only thing we need to do now is to make sure that we have a database installed. I already have one. I'm using this kind of Docker compatible thing called Orb. And you see here that it has Postgres installed, so I can get this started. And then as soon as I do, if I'm not mistaken, we need to set it up. So miss Ecto. Ecto is the database connecting thing. We're going to go ahead and set it up. It's going to migrate whatever you need. And then as soon as you do mix Phoenix server, that's going to give us our server here. And we can visit it by clicking here. Okay, terminal is not my friend. we can just go to it, right? And then we're going to have we have the standard setup here, Phoenix, so just the boilerplate and so on. And then it has just, out of the box, this is one of the things I love about this, that you have the Mayo box, which is a fantastic way to develop, applications here. So that, instead of having to use an email service, it just creates like whatever emails you send to are going to be sent in here, and you can see them right away. And then, nothing gets sent out, and you can see the emails, you can see the format, you can, inspect it without having to depend on anything external. And then the other thing, and this is the Ash admin, lets you, kind of create kind of a, visualize your database and manage some of them. Well, we're going to get to that in a second. All right, so we got all of that. We got our Git initialize. Now we're going to get to the deploy part of it all.